Hi, welcome to one more Vinyl Brothers episode. This time we are here to stay, so we are hoping in 2017 we're going to do more videos for you. The end of last year wasn't so good because we got a bit lazy, but I think in between me and the other brother Lewis, we're going to try to make it up for 2017. As you probably seen it on last week on our channel, Brother Vinyl Lewis did the Vinyl Tech 2017. So I'm going to do my own take this time, which is going to be a little bit different. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, I decided this time not to play music on the background because I'm going to do this in several takes. I'm also trying out the 60 frame per second camera to see how it looks. I hope it's a bit smoother. I can wave my hand a little bit more so you can see how cool the movement is. Let's see how that goes. So the first question of the vinyl tag is, how many rock records do you have? So that's a tricky question because cataloged I have around 500. I have probably 100 more back home in Portugal. And I think I have around 2,500 in my garage still being catalogued as I go along, as I probably mentioned in some of the previous episodes. What kind of record player do you have? Well, I have a Project RPM 9 Carbon, which is for me one of the most beautiful turntables in the market at the moment. It looks like a very futuristic, but at the same time also very timeless piece. And there's a little orthophone blue cartridge as well, blue stylus there, which to be honest, I bought it because I wanted to have an upgrade path. So this allows me to have good sound, especially with the amount of metal I hear as well. Gives me a good feeling out of the metal records. But also, if I want to progress in the future, I can upgrade to orange or black or something else. The idea is that having a progress path is really good, and also it's something that warms out with time. So it's nice to replace it once in a while as well, depending on how much you listen to your records. How old were you when you started collecting records? Well, seriously, like I do now, I was 34, so this was a couple of years, 3 years back. But I've been buying records since I was 4 or 5. Obviously, then there was the CD phase, and the records went a little bit out of fashion. But I always kept buying one here and there, and got gifts from people from the family that did not want them anymore. So I kept them. I never sold them or got rid of them. Right, next question. What is the oldest record you own? Not sure. The on catalog is an Ella Fitzgerald record. That is from, let's check my notes, 1956. But I'm sure on the stuff that I have in the garage, I'm gonna have older stuff for sure. So you have to stay tuned probably for the Vinyl Tag 2018 to understand how that's gonna change that answer. What is the first record you ever got? So the first records I remember having, that I had them around 4. I think it was before I went to primary school back in the day, and they were these small 45s that had stories, storytellers telling stories on them. And I remember I had Pinocchio, and I was listening to that a lot because I had a small sort of portable 45-inch player designed for kids back in the day that somebody brought from France. Also had Areias and Topo Gigi, which were some Portuguese cartoons from the time and characters from the time. What is the first record you got with your own money? That's a tricky question. I think it was this one. This is Batman from Prince. That's the soundtrack from the first Batman movie with Jack Nicholson, which I've showed before. I even have the Portuguese cost, the price tag in Portuguese. In Portuguese is kudos. I got this record twice in '89, and then later on, because somebody damaged it, so I bought a copy on a shop in Coimbra. One day I went there, out of lucky coincidence. What is your favorite colored vinyl? That's a tricky one. Should I think it's this one. I thought about this question, and it's a bit tricky, but I think it might be this one. This is Mastodon's Remission album, autographed, signed by the band, and it's, let's see if I can show you guys. It's purple and black. A purple and black press, as you can see, quite cool. I got it by lucky coincidence. Excuse me. So I got it by lucky coincidence. I bid it on eBay, on the official Mastodon webpage. I did not get it, and I think it was a couple weeks later they sent me an email asking me, because I was the second highest bidder, and the first bidder I quit to buy it. So I said, yeah. The price was, because I did quite a low bid, the price was quite nice. Okay, next question. What is a discount album you own? Right, I have a lot of discount albums, especially when I started going with other brother Louis to record fairs around the country. We bought a lot of cheap stuff that now people are selling for mental prices, like stuff we bought for £1. Now some people are selling it for 5, 10, 15 pounds. I guess it's a demand thing. Well, I remember this one. So this is Jack White's Lazaretto, and it's quite a cool album, especially if you have it on vinyl. You can't do what it does on CD, because one of the sides plays the other way around. So instead of putting the needle on the outside and going into the inside, put it on the inside, comes to the outside. There are some hidden tracks as well, and I got this for £7, I think, and I bought it as not in cheap shape. When it came around, it just had a little bit of a bent corner, which, to be honest, I bought it more to listen to it rather than the overall look. But it still looks good. I mean, you can barely tell there's a bent corner there. I'm not cheap. I'm not very precious about this stuff, especially if it's a small bent corner anyway. Next question. What is your prized possession? Your most prized possession. So, my most prized possession is definitely Air Love 2, which I have bought a year ago. It's a limited edition to 300 presses, and it's autographed by the band. It's one of my favorite bands, and this particular album that they have in vinyl, there's only 2 editions, which is the 300 limited and the 1000 pressed to 1000, I think, or 500. And the price difference between both of them wasn't that big anyway, so I decided to go for the most unique one, and it's definitely my most prized possession. I love that, not just the album itself, but buying it in this shape and format was amazing. A record by a female artist. Okay, that's easy, because I have quite a fair amount of records by female artists, but this is definitely one of my favorite ones, which I showed before as well. This is Astrud Gilberto, and I have this CD. I'm a very big fan of hers and this type of music, so bossa nova. Mainly because my parents used to listen to it all the time, and I got familiar and with it, and it was quite embedded in my childhood and reminds me of my childhood. On top of that, I went into a shop by mistake, or not by mistake, but I went to a shop and I wasn't expecting to find this, and I found this for a couple of quid, and yeah, I was very positively surprised. I went back again because I left some stuff I wanted there, and surprise, surprise, it wasn't there. So the lesson I learned with that one is if you have cheap stuff that you think you're gonna like, and you should buy, then buy it, because it's not gonna be there next time. There's gonna be somebody like you that likes this stuff. All right, next one, a record by your favorite band. This is the trickiest question out of this questionnaire, because that will mean I'll have to elect my favorite bands, and I think there are three bands that are equally important to my life. One was Metallica, which brought me more into metal, and Master of Puppets, because I've listened to that CD back in the day, and now in vinyl many times, sometimes days and months in one go. And then Air, because it was sort of a different band back at the day, and there wasn't many people listening to it, so I felt really that I found something different. Now obviously it's a bit more mainstream, but still it's a band that is a little bit different, and the sound is it's difficult to me to sound bad. It always sounds good. And then one of the bands I listen to the most as well, which is Tool. So I think from all these three ones, because I have the other bands in other categories, I chose Tool, and this is Enema. Curiosity about this is a pirate copy, meaning it's a non-official copy. So somebody picked up the CDs, I think, and converted them into vinyl, and we're selling them. Obviously this is cheap compared to the original press, so if you want the original press for this record, you have to be willing to pay £500 or on those lines. This was much times many times cheaper, but also the audio on it is crap. But anyway, it's just a little bit of memorabilia, rather than actually owning something to listen to it with quality. An impulse buy. That's also a tricky question. Sometimes if I'm a bit tipsy and I go into Amazon's or Discogs, everything becomes an impulse buy. So I think my latest worst impulse buy was when Nine Inch Nails decided to put out new Definitive Edition presses for their records. So as soon as they became available on the website, I purchased all the ones that were available around Christmas time. So that was an ouch moment, and I can't say I was totally aware of what I was doing. Anyway, the next day I found out pretty quickly looking at my bank account. A gift. Next question is a gift. So, in line with what happened with the other brother Lewis, I got a gift from brother Lewis, and this is Ghost, still when they had their name as BC, and this is Year Zero, and it's a 10-inch single, and also the tickets from the concerts where we've been, me and him, Ghosts. Good concert. Thing about Ghost is they're very theatrical, so it's a nice concert to go and watch one time. I'm not so sure if it's a band to repeat. I think I had similar examples as well with when I went with the brother Luis to see Mastodon, and the second time around was very similar to the first time. So it's a very good band to see live, but I'm not sure if seeing it twice or three times is going to alter your perception or give you a lot of new feeling when you see these bands live. Next one. The most played record. That's easy. So I was debating before between Master of Puppets, Tool Enim and Moon Safari. I chose Moon Safari simply because it is definitely the album I have the most copies. So I started off with a copy of a CD that a friend of mine lent to me, which then rapidly became the buying the original. My wife gave me the 10-year-old anniversary. I got this in vinyl. I'm definitely gonna buy it because there's a new press, a more recent press. I'm definitely gonna buy the new press as well. And I'm sure that's not gonna be the last time I'm gonna buy this album. So it's that good, by the way. This is their Ex Libris, their best album ever. And if you haven't listened to it, give it a go. Listen to it and lie down, put some headphones, close your eyes, listen to it. It's definitely worth the experience. Okay, next one. A rarity. Okay, rarity. I've got a few rarities, and when I say rarity, I mean I don't mean necessarily the amount of money it cost, because you can have money, but if no one's selling something, then it becomes rare and it becomes hard to get. This band is called Morellenbaum Squared and Sakamoto. Basically, it's Morellenbaum, both of the Morellenbaums and Sakamoto here in the piano, and they had the band very briefly that play Tom Jobim's stuff. This is one of the albums. There's another one called Casa, and I managed to get this one from Japan. There aren't a lot of copies of this stuff. Actually, if you go into Discogs, I think this one I bought was the last one that was sold. And I've been trying to buy Casa for 6 months now, and failing miserably because nobody wants to sell it to me. I've actually started sending emails to the owners of the records that are on Discog and are public, and trying to buy them from them, and nobody wants to sell it. So it's that good and it's that rare. And money here, I mean, it doesn't matter how much it is. If you can't get it, it's a rarity in my opinion. Next one, I mean, I've got a few ones like that, by the way. One that I bought a couple of years ago, a Type O Negative record, which now it seems to be very hard to find as well. Stuff that you don't pay that much attention in thinking. I bought it because I like them, but now they become quite difficult to get. Next one is a Rainy Day record. I have a lot of those, but this is probably one of the most rainy days records for me. This is Morphine, and it's called Good. Morphine is probably the band that I listened to the most when I was around 20 years old. Still sticks with me. I still like to listen to them. I went when I was studying in Lisbon. I had the opportunity to go to a Morphine concert, and I decided to study for an exam because the exam was the day after the concert. So I didn't go to the concert, and surprise, the lead singer died on stage the next day. So that's another lesson learned. If you can go to a concert, especially with these bands from the 90s that they seem to die a lot, then do it and go see the band. You never know if they're gonna play again. A feel good album. All right, the feel good album. This was bought by the other brother Lewis in Brighton, and it's one of the records I like the most. It's Quincy Jones Bossa Nova, and I'm trying to get a few more records like this. So it's when you have a famous composer or some people that have orchestras, then they play a certain genre. So Lalo Schifrin also has that. So I'm trying to get my hands on that record, and I think it was a coincidence for him to get this record. But for me, I really love it, especially the first few songs on it. Very good album. And it's another thing, when he got it for me, I remember he paid. I remember he paid very small amount of money for it, and now if you want to buy a repress, a new one, it's actually quite expensive. Next one is a nostalgic record. So there you go. Nostalgic can be more nostalgic than this for me, which is Bauhaus, and this is the BBC Sessions, Swing the Heartache, and yeah, it's nostalgic for me because it reminds me of certain periods of my life every time I listen to these songs. And obviously I'm gonna be crucified for this, but there is a lot of good songs here from Bauhaus, and there's also Ziggy Stardust cover from David Bowie, which I like more than the original. But yeah, I guess it depends on your tastes. But I would always prefer Bauhaus to in this particular song than David Bowie. A record store day purchase. So I have a fair amount of those. I think this is probably the most the one that has a story against it. It was my mom's last gift to me that I can remember, and I still haven't opened it. Still have the price tag, and it's Slipknot's Volume 3, Subliminal Verses, clear double vinyl. And I don't think I'm going to open it, to be honest. I don't think I have the courage in me to do it. I'm going to keep it like this. I have the CD, obviously, so I've listened to it many times, but I'm going to keep it like this. And the next one and last one, the 20th question on the quiz, is a recent purchase. So I'm not sure it counts. This wasn't my last purchase, because my last purchase is still on the post, because it's going to be launched this month, by the end of the month, which is Napalm Death's Scum, which is their first album. But I think this is the last record that came on the post, so it probably counts as my last physical purchase. And it's Catatonia, The Great Cold Distance. I mean, this is a re-edition. The first press, I think, is in red. Not sure if it's red, but it's quite expensive, I think. And when this came out, now this repress, and it came at an affordable price, I decided just to get it. And yeah, I don't regret it. I've just started listening to it, and it's as good as I remember, to be honest. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Sorry if the video was too long, but 20 questions, you cannot do them in 5 minutes. So see you next time. Cheers.